The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
Righteous Felon Craft Jerky is the official jerky of Belly Up Sports. For over a decade, Righteous Felon Craft Jerky has led the American meat snack revolution by concocting delicious, adventurous, U.S.-sourced jerky recipes for uncompromising carnivores across the country. With 15 different flavors to choose from, Righteous Felon has all jerky lovers covered, and by using promo code BELLYUP, you will get 15% off your purchase at righteousfelon.com. Do your taste buds a favor today and rip into a bag of Righteous Felon jerky.
All right, thanks to Righteous Felon Jerky for sponsoring the Belly Up Media Network and bellyupsports.com, and for all they do for the best jerky in the land. Go to righteousfelon.com and use promo code BELLYUP and save yourself 15% on every purchase, not just your first purchase, over there at Righteous Felon. Belly Up is the promo code to use. Anyways, for those of you, like I said earlier on, the show just started. I started this thing a couple of years ago, and I quite enjoy it. I enjoy writing here and there, and I don't get around to it nearly as much as I should or how much I would like to. It takes time and effort and things and stuff, and it's really tough to try to juggle the baseball team and this around and just being a human being and trying to sleep and eat things and stuff and spend time with the wife. So it's you get stretched pretty thin, but the writing is kind of one of those things I've always liked to do. And I started doing with Radlinsky's ramblings. I have some different odd things I do, not only for the 1420 website, but the Leopard's Bowls and the PBA and stuff. I do a lot of writing for those things too. But Radlinsky's ramblings is one of my favorite ones to do. Just simple facts. I get a lot of dumb thoughts in my head and stupid thoughts and things that make you go thoughts and whatever it was. I get to put them down on paper, and it's always fun to interact with people later on about those stupid dumb thoughts that I get. But lots of like when I do a rambling, it's usually about one or two sports related ones. Most are about day-to-day operations and stupid things like that. But I thought I would, why not do a complete sports related ones? We'll see how this works. I got a few written down, whether they work or not. You throw enough crap on the wall, something's bound to stick. So here is the first edition of Radlinsky's Ramblings, podcast style. Here we go. All right, Radlinsky's Ramblings for this first 11th day of January 2025. Can we please get rid of the national anthems? Maybe just have it around for like the big games, like maybe like Game 4 of the World Series, maybe the Super Bowl, maybe the Stanley Cup Finals. But can we just please get rid of it? Because everybody who goes out there, they have something to prove. I don't mind when the singers that like they have the same person all the time. But when somebody gets out there with something to prove and try to outdo the person before them, it becomes an embarrassment. I love the anthems. I love the American National Anthem. I love the Canadian National Anthem. I don't know the words to any of the other ones, but it always seems to become this great big thing. So can we please? It's just, and then sometimes it just gets destroyed, and it gets very cringeworthy. I think it's a time. Again, I know it's a thing, and you put your flag goes up and all the pomp and circumstance all the time. But I don't think you would have anybody disagree with me on this in the sports world if they just got rid of it. Like standing there in the anthem, yeah, you look cool. Your hair slicked back after you did your hair skate for hockey. You're standing there on the first baseline. I think it's a big, like in baseball, you don't even know what's happening half the time. You're out getting beers and hot dogs. They do it way before the game even starts. It's a lot going on. I think it's time to get rid of the national anthem. And it's a lot of times. There was one today just before the this Texans football game. And that's how much I care. I don't know if they're playing. Texans and see, don't care. It's right on the TV right now. I just can't see that far anymore. But it was very cringeworthy, and it was like, oh, ooh. And you just felt she was half a second away from disaster. So I really think that it's really time to get rid of the national anthem. Tell me I'm wrong. And I don't think I am. People won't miss it. If it just went away, like the Chargers, it's the Texans and the Chargers. If it went away, no one would care. If it just magically happened, it might be half season before someone would go, hey, what happened to that anthem? Remember that used to happen? No one would care. Also, the other night, fantastic football games. The national championship, the college football going. Notre Dame, Ohio State in the final sometime next week. Great games this weekend so far. It was fantastic to watch. But And I'm glad Penn State lost. You guys know I'm not a Penn State apologist by any means for what happened with the Sandusky and Paternal thing many moons ago, but that's something that's unforgivable in my world. So I know like Aaron from Brutally Honest Sports, he's been on the show a number of times, and we're going to get together again very soon. He's a big Penn State guy, lives out in that neck of the woods, but I just can't forgive them for all that shenanigans that went on years ago, and I'll always cheer against Penn State no matter what when it comes to that kind of stuff. But great football games. But the post game interview, the Notre Dame quarterback, praise to God. And I'm not a Satan worshiper. I'm God fear, the whole bit. But can we please just stop with the praise the Lord above and thank God for this and thank God for that? Yeah, you know what? He wasn't watching. I hate to break it to you. He's got way bigger fish to fry than what was going on in that football field on Thursday night. You think about what's happening down in LA with the fires. This isn't a political thing. It's just it's not the time or the place. There are fires, a fact. There are things that are happening. It's a fact. People are losing their houses, fact. So it's got to get fixed. How it got to that point, don't care. They got to fix it. I'm thinking that God was probably watching that. I'm thinking that the Savior was probably watching and taking care of that and answering those thoughts and prayers first. When it comes to a football game, you probably had, because you're Notre Dame, you probably had a lot of people praying for you already because you're, quasi-Catholic school. But then again, the Catholic Church doesn't have the best look right now for a lot of the preachers and things and stuff and altar boys and stuff. So can we please not let these guys thank the Lord above, because he ain't watching. And you know what? I'm not against it, but I'm against it. I mean, it's not a religious thing. I think it's you know what, dude, pick better spots. I just thought it was a bad look, and it's just whenever they do it, it's just oh Christ, can we just not? God ain't watching. God doesn't care. Way bigger fish to fry than a football game. That in a football game that somebody else made a mistake. I'm sure when you were on the sidelines and you were praying that God didn't force that interception that turned the game around at the end of the fourth quarter. I'm just saying that it was one of those things. And the Penn State quarterback, I kind of it was a bit of karma. I talk about karma being one thing, but it's a bit of karma when he was sitting on the sidelines late in the fourth quarter there, and his defense couldn't make a stop, and he was kind of huffing and puffing and being that guy, being that entitled little prick that most of these kids are, it seems. But he was throwing his head back, and he was kind of being a jerk about his defense. And then he was the one who cost him, made the bad play. Great interception, by the way, by the Notre Dame defender. But he was the one who made the bad pass decision that ended up turning that game around for Notre Dame. So it's kind of funny how it was on camera when you were besmirching your teammates and the way that all turned out. But it's just kind of funny. I don't know if you guys saw this one last week, but the Philadelphia Flyers fan, when the Leafs were down in Philly last week, but that the Leafs fan was being a bit of a nozzle and a bit taunting, I guess. And he was up down by the glass, and he was saying Leafs won, and him and his son, it looked like it was his son's age anyways, but it was very a bad look on Phillies fans. And I guess it's I guess it's a stereotype, because it's a stereotype when it comes to Philly fan, because this guy rolled down and just knocked out this that Leafs fan. And yeah, the Leafs fan's probably three sides of every story on this one, but the Leafs fan probably should have been told to be quiet, not been punched in the face. But it was just kind of a bad look for me for that Flyers fan to go down there and punch a guy over a hockey game when your team's not very good. And the Flyers haven't won anything in how long, and on it goes. So I just found it kind of like, Jesus, man, it's just a game. It's literally just a game. But to get that revved up over the Toronto Maple Leafs and Philadelphia Flyers on a Tuesday night, man, you got to screw loose. It's just sport about two teams that probably aren't winning. One's not winning for sure, and I'm not talking about the Leafs. The Flyers, I know they ain't winning nothing. So to get that upset over a guy saying something, a guy that you'll never see again in your life, a guy that you don't know who his name is until you get to court, who's going to, will the defendant please rise? Then you'll know his name, right? So yeah, don't be an idiot. It's just sports, man. What were you trying to accomplish? Way to go! You just made the stereotype of Phillies fans or Philadelphia fans in general. That's just what they are and who they are. I am going to get a little political on here. Said a few weeks ago, Orange Menace Quit it. Quit it. Doubling down on your rhetoric about 51st State and stuff. Quit it. We're not interested. FAFO. Quit it. Just, there's no need for it. You need us. We need you. Keep it that way. Because before you know it, when you think you don't need us, that's when you're going to need us. Hence the fire situation. Oil, gas, lumber, stuff. Don't. I'm fine. I'm fine with not going down to the States. I have lots of American friends. Love going down there. But I'm good. I'm good. You keep it up, you're going to lose my tourism dollars. And a lot more, not just me. Quit it, Orange Menace. That's just one of those things. What else do I got here? Oh, here's one. At what point are all of these amateur handicappers going to quit telling me who to bet for? You're doing a podcast out of your basement or whatever it might be, or you're in your mom's basement or you're whatever. You're doing it before you get. Quit telling me who to put money down on and who to do this. Because if you were so good at it, if you're so smart, if you know what you're talking about, why are you doing it out of your basement? You'd be doing it some palatial estate somewhere else. You'd be hooked up with FS1 or you'd be on this or that or another thing. No, but you don't know what you're talking about. No one does. You know who knows Vegas? So you just go to what Vegas says and be done with it. All of these like these amateur handicappers, quit it. You're not impressing anybody. You're wasting my space. You're wasting my ears. You're wasting it all. Just give it up. You aren't making any sense at all with the whole situation. I just find it ridiculous. These people can come. You know who you should bet on? Oh, okay. Tell me the guy with a 9-to-5 job. Tell me who I should bet on. If you were good at this, you wouldn't have your 9-to-5 job. No one's good at it. 52%. If you're hitting that, you're lucky. And that's good bettors. Quit it. Amateur handicappers. You sound ridiculous. You sound absolutely ridiculous. One more. Okay, this one kind of hits a little bit at home a little bit because I don't want to like when your team wins, there's no better feeling, right? Your team loses, it's awful. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Like when your team loses, it's a worse feeling than the good feeling it is when your team wins. Your team wins, yeah, right on, it's great, whatever. You have a steak, have a few beers, and it's over. Your team loses, it eats away at you. But is it okay, sports fan wise, and humanity wise, and moral wise, and karma wise, to hope that a team never wins because of somebody that you know who might be a fan of that team? Because you just know as soon as that team pulls one off, you'll never hear the end of it. Like it'll never, ever stop. This guy will talk about this victory, this championship for like even longer than forever. And you won't, and it's like he'll talk about it every time. Yeah, you remember back in yeah, I remember. Yeah. Way to go. And the woo in your face, and he'll have his stupid shirt on from 19 whatever 2020 whatever, and then talking about how great this guy is. And it just, is it okay to wish complete disparity on a sports franchise just in the hopes that guy doesn't get the satisfaction of his team winning? And this person could be a good friend. This person could be a family member. But sports can, as much as it can bring people together, it can slide people apart. So is it okay to can this team just please never win? Like never. And you barely watch them, you barely pay attention to them, or you might be a fan of that team because there's a situation I have that I kind of don't really want this one team to win. Well, there's a few, but there's one that I really don't want to win. I can't even say it on air how bad I don't want this team to win because it's like, holy Christ, this one's not going to end. Like you see a lot of like a bandwagon jumper is actually better. A bandwagon jumper is like, hey, team won, and he'll forget he even has the jersey a year later. You're like, all right, well, whatever. It's done. I didn't really care that much. I actually have a job and a life. But there's this one that I don't want them to win just because I dislike this person. I just dislike him, and I shouldn't. Is the thing, and it's just like, holy Christ! If that team wins, I'm just never going to hear the end of it. And I don't want them to win because I got to be around this person once in a blue moon, or I see him once in a while, and it's like, oh Christ, is he going to talk about this again? Because I'm a different Yankee fan. Like I'm actually harder on seeing when they lose than when they win. When they win, I'm all right on. I don't brag about it because I didn't do anything. I complain more when they lose than I'm happy when they win. Better podcast fodder, better sport, better talk, right? So just one of those things. So does it make you a bad person when you don't want this team to win? Just a question for you guys out there in 1420 land. Anyways, there's Radlinsky's ramblings. I'll clean it up there. I thought that was all right. It's Radlinsky's ramblings for this 11th day of January 2025. Going to get a regular schedule going. Got a few bullhorns lined up for the week coming ahead. Morning show. Said it before, I say it again. We're going to get things rolling. Some different things happening over at Belly Up Sports as well. So that's going to be some exciting moves moving forward. So there was the 1420 Sports Bar podcast, 4 Beer Sports, talking a whole lot more for this Saturday afternoon edition in 2025. Christmas tree came down. What a mess. Still find needles everywhere. I'd like to know if hear from my listeners out there, like when you take your Christmas tree down, what's your needle situation? Because it don't matter. Like I thought we had them contained. Found a few today. I'll probably start finding them again back come June for some reason. Odd situation there with the Christmas trees. Anyways, that's it. Radlinsky's ramblings, audio style, video style, the podcast, the Canucks, go out on a bender, have a good time, just go out and go on a slump buster, punch you in the face, sing Kumbaya, don't stop believing, some crying song tonight, sing some power ballad to each other, and just get to JT Miller and Elias Pettersson situation resolved, because you still have a little bit of a hope to salvage this season. Anyways, that's it for the show today, guys. Thank you very much for those who follow and listen to us on obviously on the podcast side. Subscribe to the YouTube side as well. Go to Belly Up Sports Talk, Belly Up Sports YouTube channel. Subscribe there as well. And lots going on here at the podcast world. We're going to keep it real, keep it straight, and we will talk to you guys again probably tomorrow. And on 1420 Sports Bar Podcast, 4 Beer Sports Talk, and a whole lot more. Cheers. Have yourself a great Saturday, and we will talk to you guys tomorrow.
You just listened to the 1420 Sports Bar Podcast. 4 Beer Sports Talk, and a whole lot more. We are part of the Belly Up Media Network. Let's get into it.